And here is a first look at the ROG Azoth keyboard. As you can see, it has a two-tone look. It's got black on some of the keys, especially the outer ones on the left and right. And then it's got like these dark gray colored keys at the center portion of the keyboard, which makes it look really interesting. So before we take a full look at the keyboard, let's look at what else is in the box. So you get a little warranty booklet as well as an instruction booklet. Then you get some really nice ROG design stickers that you can put on your computer case if you wanted to. Now, if we take a look at this inner box, we see some interesting things here that you won't see with other keyboards. Now, it's important to know that the ROG Azoth is not your typical gaming keyboard. It's a DIY custom keyboard. That means that not only can you change the keycaps on this keyboard, you could change the switches that are underneath the keycaps to customize your typing preference. And that's why ASUS includes this lubing station and accessories. So here's a close look at what you get. Since this is a custom DIY keyboard, they do provide you with this lube brush that you can use to lube up your key switches as well as your stabilizers. They also provide you with this Krytox lube that you're gonna use to lube your switches. Also included is this keycap puller, this metal switch puller, as well as this ROG switch opener. They do provide you with 3 extra switches. You also get these small little rubber pads. And finally, you get this lube station where you can do all your key switch lubing. They do provide you with this very nice braided USB-C to USB-A cable, as well as this wireless dongle extender. And now let's take a closer look at the Azoth gaming keyboard. First thing I'll do is I'm gonna power it on by setting it to wireless mode. And if we take a look at the back of the keyboard here at the edge, you have a USB-C connection for the wired connection. And then you have a storage space on the keyboard itself for the wireless dongle. And then you have the switch to set it to wireless, USB, or Bluetooth. So I'm gonna go ahead and set it to wireless. Okay, here we see the RGB light up on the Azoth keyboard. And the Azoth keyboard has some features that you don't find in any other DIY keyboard, such as this 2-inch OLED display and this 3-way knob here that you can use to control different functions. Now, taking a look at the build quality of this keyboard, it is pretty hefty, but not very heavy. I can lift it fine with just one hand. And it's got a nice metal top color, kind of like a gunmetal finish, but it's not shiny at all. It's kind of like a matte finish. Now let's take a look at the back and we see this sticker here. Let's go ahead and peel it off. Now we see here that it's got 2 pairs of keyboard feet of different heights to provide 3 different tilt positions. So you can just lift up the smaller feet if you wanted to, or you can lift up the bigger feet to give you a much more angled position. So as I mentioned before, the Azoth has 3 modes of connectivity. You can use its Speed Nova wireless technology. It works in the 2.4 gigahertz mode, which provides it with up to 2,000 hours of low latency gameplay. And you can also connect it using wirelessly using Bluetooth, or connect it with the included USB-C to USB-A wire. So not only do you get RGB with this keyboard, but the mechanical switches are also hot swappable. When you buy the ROG Azoth, you have your choice of buying it with either ROG NX Red switches, which are linear and swift, NX brown switches, which are ultra tactile, or blue switches, which are clicky and tactile. However, let's say you purchase blue switches to begin with, since you think you'll be doing a lot of typing, but you start playing a lot of games and you want to switch to a linear switch that is better for gaming. Then you can purchase other switches, and the other switches don't have to be ROG's NX switches. They can be other compatible switches, such as these Cherry MX Silent Reds, which I purchased, that I'm gonna be putting on this keyboard. So as you can see right here, these are not the ROG branded switches. These are Cherry MX switches, and these switches will work just fine on the Azoth keyboard. So yes, the switches on the Azoth are hot swappable, and ASUS provides everything you'll need to replace your switches. And so yes, over time you can replace your switches as you see fit, and you'll get a completely different keyboard in terms of the feel of the keyboard when typing and or playing games. This makes the ASUS ROG Azoth very versatile. As for the keycaps, they are ROG's PBT double shot keycaps, which are similar to Cherry's profile keycaps. When you buy this keyboard, the switches and keyboard stabilizers come pre-lubed, which is great. Now, if you purchase different switches like I did, then the switch lube kit has everything you'll need to get your switches lubed up, including the Krytox lubricant. To further enhance your typing experience, the keyboard has a unique gasket mount design that includes a silicone gasket mount with 3 layers of dampening foam. So as I'm typing, it feels pretty good. The other great thing about this keyboard is is that it supports both Windows and Mac OS, and you can easily toggle between both modes by using this key right here. And as you can see on these keycaps here, you can see some of the Mac OS keys. So easily switch with this key here. This keyboard also has on-the-fly macro recording capabilities. So now let's test out the keyboard to see how it feels and sounds. I'll be testing out the keyboard with the ROG NX Red switches installed. So right off the bat, I can tell you that this feels like a premium keyboard when I'm typing on it. It feels really, really nice. Probably one of the best feeling keyboards that I've tried in quite a while. And when I'm pressing down the keys, it feels nice and fast and linear, which is what you want in a gaming keyboard. Now, as far as the sound, it doesn't sound clicky at all. However, you can definitely tell that this is a mechanical keyboard when you're typing on these keys. I mean, it really feels incredible without being like obnoxious like other keyboards I've tried. They're very loud. The sound on this is very reasonable. You could definitely use it in an office environment, I think, without annoying your coworkers. And I just want to point out this spacebar feels and sounds incredible. Okay, and since this is a hot swappable switch DIY keyboard, let's check out how easy or hard it is to pull out a keycap and switch. Let's go ahead and take out the J. Okay, that was super easy. And now let's go ahead and pull out the switch. Wow, that was a lot easier than I thought. So there it is. Now that the switch is out, you can replace it with any Cherry MX switch or ROG's NX switches, or pretty much any compatible switch that you like. So great feature to have on a gaming keyboard. And I hope you enjoyed this video on the ASUS ROG Azoth custom DIY gaming keyboard. And I'll see you guys in the next video.